All right, so one place I haven't renovated in my house yet is this downstairs bathroom. I figured I'd let somebody else do that, but I was in here yesterday, and come here. I noticed a small hairline crack, and I touched it, and the whole thing is broken. So, not only do I have to replace the toilet because it was messed up, I'm going to go ahead and replace this. And you will see it's got some water damage here. And what I'm going to do is just replace this whole thing right here with black iron pipe. And I'm going to put an oak top, cut a sink out, do a splash guard on the back and over there with that oak. And boom, it's going to look good. So let's go ahead and get that top done right here. All right, so let's measure first. And it is 22 inches by 5 feet. So let's go glue some boards together. Okay, so I've got this piece right here that I actually put together to do that vanity, the sink in there, but for some reason I could never get these cuts to be straight on my last table saw. No matter what I did, I even used an edge guide out there and used a circular saw, never could get them straight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this back down, use these two boards. This one's a little bit too small, plus it's got some checking right here. And then we're going to glue these boards to another board and make it 22 inches. And then we'll fill in with some resin all the little pinholes here from the bugs, and that'll be a beautiful top right there.
I need to cut this panel back down so I can make a new panel out of it. This thing was crazy heavy. So I used my roller stand that I recently got, and I can't tell you how much this helps. So the panel is not going to be wide enough unless I add another strip of wood to it. So here I grabbed another stick of oak and I'm cutting it to rough length with a circular saw. The piece of oak I cut was way too thick for the panel, so I had to plane it down, and then I'm going to square it up in the table saw. The vanity top's 22 inches, which is way too big to go through my 15-inch planer. So what I'm going to do is glue it up in two different sections. I'm only going to show one side being glued up here for time's sake. I'm going to use biscuits to join the two boards together. And yes, that's a Harbor Freight biscuit joiner. It works just fine, a lot cheaper than anything else I found. After I make my marks, I then cut the biscuits into each of the boards. Finally, I turn both boards on end, and then I put some glue on. I add the biscuits, put a little bit more glue, and then glue them all together. You can see the old biscuits that I used in the boards when I was joining the panel originally. After planing down both sides of the boards, I taped all the cracks up, then mixed up some epoxy to pour into the cracks and knots in the table. I decided to add a little bit of red and It really didn't come out the way I thought it would, although it did give some red hue to the wood. I didn't show it, but after the epoxy set overnight, I ran them both through my planer one more time. I add biscuits again, which I'm not going to show, and then I glue the board together. After gluing the boards together, I used a circular saw and a straight edge guide I made a while back to cut the top down to size. I went ahead and I sanded the top up to 320 grit. I needed to make sure it was nice and smooth and ready for the finish. I wasn't positive what to use on this Vanity top, so I went to Woodcraft and talked to them, and they suggested I use some Enduro Var, which is general finish. I'm going to be completely honest, I wasn't very happy with the Enduro Var. It was a lot more expensive and it left streaks in the finish. It may have been the cheap brushes that I was using, but I did use a foam one. I put 5 coats on the top of the Vanity and 2 coats on the bottom. Okay, I've got 5 coats on the top and 2 coats on the bottom. The top is ready, and the next thing we're going to work on are the legs and the base, and then we'll bring it in and we'll install the sink. I haven't decided what type of sink I'm going to put on this yet. That's why I have not cut any holes. I may just do a sink that sits on the top of it, or I might put one that goes down into the Vanity. Either way, I have a few more videos that are coming out on this. It's going to be basically a small mini series. If you could, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. Go ahead and comment in the comments below. If you are so gracious, please go ahead and share the video. Let other people know about it. And also subscribe, because I do have more videos coming out in this series. Alright, until I see you next time, stay cool.